Hello, you guys. This is Josh Vision, and I'm here to give you my Queen of the South Season 1, Episode 1 review. So, we started this episode with the character of Teresa explaining the fact that she is the most powerful drug lord in the Western Hemisphere, but that she started off poor, actually. And she knows what that's like, and being rich is much better. So, we see her die literally within the first couple of minutes of the show. But she does say that, despite the power she has, the influence she has, and that, by the way, all of us should thank her for, the audience, for all the cocaine and weed that's been supplied throughout the parties, etc., that a lot of the audience have probably went through. But she makes it clear to the audience that despite her dying the way she did, which I don't know if she got shot by like some type of like grenade or like some assassin shit, whatever. Point is this, that she expected that her number was gonna go up quite soon in her life because that's the deal she made by joining, the drug game. But she says she doesn't really regret anything. So we get a little bit of background about where she started. She grew up in Mexico. I believe she was a money changer, and her life changes when she meets this guy named Werewolf or something along the lines. So he introduces her to like a really like good life from the life she's used to, and she's like really dressing up in these fine clothes, having like bands and bands of money, a rich lifestyle, and they seem to have a really good relationship with each other. They're both each other's girlfriend and boyfriend, all that stuff. So everything starts to change around this Christmas party in which Werewolf and his cousin and his cousin's wife and baby's mother, who turns out to be one of Teresa's like closest friends, I believe. They go to this Christmas party that the Don, who's actually Werewolf's godfather, is holding. So they go into the party, and we meet where the Don's two guards, and they seem like absolute dirt bags. And so Werewolf was told by these two bodyguards basically that his godfather wants to speak, with him. So Werewolf and his cousin go to meet him. So we meet the Don, and he's basically telling what seems to be his right-hand man that he's going to be running for, the mayor of Mexico, or the governor of Mexico, something like that. And since he's going to be running, in his politics, he has to further himself away from the business and the violence that come along with it. So while he's basically trying to be the governor or the mayor of Mexico, he wants his right hand man to be taking his spot in terms of like the day-to-day operations. But he did say to him that he has to learn how to control his temper and his aggressiveness because there have been plenty of situations in which the Don himself had to sort of cover for him due to his hot-headedness. And the guy kind of slyly responds by saying, "Hey, listen, man, if I'm going to be running this, I got to run it my way. You feel me?" And the Don kind of smiles, and they just kind of drink some of the, some more tequila. So Werewolf comes with his cousin, and they're talking with the Don. Everyone seems to be in good spirits, and they just sort of clang the glasses together, in a celebratory, like, little, salute to each other, and, they drink. And I believe Teresa actually spots him, and she sort of smiles to Werewolf. He smiles back, and the Don's like, "So who's that? That's your girl?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's mine." He's like, "Good choice." So later on in the episode, when we see Teresa and Werewolf's cousin's wife and baby mama like walking together, I believe Werewolf's cousin baby mama basically goes to the bathroom, and Teresa sees an argument between the Don and his wife. So it's established here is that the Don's wife doesn't want for him to run for politics. He doesn't want to run for the governor or the mayor of Mexico. She wants him to basically remain in the business. That's the only thing she ever tried that she was actually good at, and the only business that stops her from being basically a common poor farmer, basically. And he's like, "Listen, you're going to be my wife. You're going to be a loyal wife, and you're going to support me and be with me during this campaign." She's like, No, I'm not. Nah, I'm going to Texas. I'm going to expand our business, basically, and basically to deal with it. And you better give me a good product. You feel me? And she was saying basically to him that if it wasn't for me, this empire wouldn't have grown to begin with. You had a role in it, but I'm the main reason why it grew. You know. So after that, she leaves. She exchanges looks with Teresa, and Teresa also speaks with the Dawn briefly, but it wasn't really anything important. So we have a little bit of a time skip in this episode. We see Teresa come in the house, and we see Werewolf has been beat the freak up. Like his arms in a sling, like someone broke it or dislocated. His eyes messed up, and he has like bruises all over. So he explains to Teresa that him and his cousin, they were trying to like pick something up or do a drop off or something, but some of their men got killed, and they were just surrounded by federales, which basically means, I believe, like federals, and policemen or all that crap. So he was trying to figure out what the crap happened because that wasn't supposed to happen. So he basically gives Teresa a little bit of a rundown of what's to happen if he were to get killed himself, like how to use a gun, like if the phone rings, that means he's dead, and basically this notebook, whatever, that contains something important, facts or something that he wants her to exchange for her life to the Dawn, because he feels, oh, if that's the case, the Dawn will spare her life, essentially. So the next scene, we see her in the bath and we see her phone rings. And she realizes that Werewolf must be dead, and I think she hears someone downstairs banging on her door. So she runs. So she tells her friend, that her husband, her baby's father, Werewolf's cousin, is in big trouble, and she's going to try to get them out, for them all to run towards safety. But unfortunately, the two bodyguards of the Dawn get to, his house. And I believe they chop off his fingers, and they just start to really mutilate his body. Like it was a really, really gory sight, you guys. But Teresa is able to save, her friend and her child from the guys. So they get separated somehow, and Teresa finds herself in a hotel, but she's eventually kind of captured by the two guys. So one of the guys, I believe, goes to the bathroom or goes somewhere, and the other guy basically is raping, Teresa, having sex with her, and Teresa grabs a gun and shoots that rapist right in the freaking head, kills him right then and there. So after that, she runs off, and she finds the Dawn, and she gives the Dawn the notebook. So she's thinking, okay, despite all the BS we have been through this entire day, this definitely has to be my safe haven. I'm good. Werewolf was right. This will save my life. But turns out the Dawn doesn't want anything to do with Teresa, despite whatever was in that notebook, because he seemed really distraught and kind of like bothered about what he saw in that notebook, to be real with you. So he basically says, I can't deal with this. I'm out of here. And Teresa basically gets in front of the car that he was in and basically threatens to blow her brains out, because if he's going to leave, she might as well kill herself, because she doesn't want to basically get raped to death or get like a vicious murder that Werewolf and his cousin went through. So it seemed as though her and the Dawn have reached some coordinates, and they're driving back. And then the Dawn gets a phone call. So he steps out, with his driver, and Teresa can sense something has changed, the vibes and all that. So basically, when they get back in the car, Teresa basically forces a car accident, essentially, and she's the only one who's able to escape the car, or she's like the first one to actually wake up from the accident, because it seemed like it's like the next day when she wakes up, and she has a gun, and she has the opportunity not just to kill the driver. I think she did kill the driver, or the driver's already dead or close to death. So she had an opportunity to kill the Dawn, but she didn't. And with her injured leg, she just limped basically to anywhere she could, like just walking and try to find somewhere to go. So she finds a gas station, and the gas station guy is able to heal her wound, and gives her some tequila, to help her through the pain. But she's eventually captured by these mysterious, guys. So she wakes up, and she's in this compound area, like with cages and all this crap. So she's like wondering where the freak she's at, and she's tied to a chair. So this is where she meets the Dawn's wife, whose name is Camilla. And she's wondering why, like, this girl was literally all the way over in her territory. And she realized that she definitely met her before, but she couldn't, like, put her finger on where she met her. So Teresa basically tells her that she met her at the Christmas party. And she's like, oh. And she was talking about basically how her husband was looking for this girl. And she realized that Teresa was that girl. So she's wondering what's the reason. Teresa's not going to tell her anything. It's not, well, she isn't telling her anything. So she's like, okay. And then Teresa's like, tells her a little bit, you know. And then I believe the woman sort of spares her a bit. And before she like leaves on to do what she has to do, you know, Camilla, I believe Teresa asks her, where am I at? And she says, welcome to America. You're in Texas. So once Teresa hears that, she's like, oh, thank God I'm in the United States. I'm safe for now. So if I miss anything, you guys, write some comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Adios and have a good one.